her forces from Kashmir territory, because Kashmir is only for Kashmiris, and the Kashmiris have a right to live there.
Pakistan's army saw opportunity in the struggle and suffering of Kashmiris. Its intervention was soon to change. The strategy now was to wage war by proxy. It was designed as a low-cost way to win Kashmir by bleeding India. Working with radical Islamic groups in bases inside Pakistani Kashmir, the army used its secret intelligence agencies to recruit, train and arm holy warriors. The jihadis came from all over the Muslim world. Many were already battle-hardened. The jihad has had tragic consequences for Kashmir's minorities. Fleeing years of violence and growing tensions with the majority Muslim population, many Hindu pundits sought safety in Jammu and elsewhere. Like the Muslims who had fled to the Pakistani part of Kashmir, they too carried a heavy burden of sorrow.
मेरे 2 बच्चे थे, एक लड़का एक लड़की, भाग कर आई मैं, वहाँ पर हमारी.
The innocents became targets and massacre followed massacre. But Maharaja Hari Singh was an autocratic Hindu ruler despised by the impoverished Muslim majority of Kashmir. A Muslim leader, Sheikh Abdullah, led the movement for democracy and reform. He became immensely popular. He shared secular ideals with Jawaharlal Nehru, a Kashmiri Pandit who became the first Prime Minister of India. Neither wanted Kashmir to cede to Pakistan. But Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, wanted Muslim majority states to become Pakistan.
We must remember.
Jinnah argued that the new nation would be incomplete without Kashmir. He said that the K in Pakistan stood for Kashmir. Lord Mountbatten, the last British Viceroy, showed little resolve in mediating the dispute. He was more concerned with assuring Britain's graceful exit from India. But this was not to be so. Pathan tribesmen and Pakistan Army regulars invaded Kashmir in 1947. Indian troops were flown into Srinagar on Nehru's orders. The bitter fighting ended in a stalemate, with a temporary ceasefire line separating the two armies. In 1953, Nehru delivered a speech wherein he agreed to a plebiscite in Kashmir.
Our pledge to the people, no forced unions.
But there was no plebiscite, and the ceasefire line effectively remained the border. It sliced Kashmir into two, passing over hills and through valleys. Frequent clashes across this line increased tensions. Their effects were felt everywhere, including the southern border. New disputes constantly arose. In 1965, India and Pakistan went to war over Kashmir.
Able to fly over Pakistan.
Although both countries claimed victory, in fact the war inflicted approximately equal losses upon both. A settlement was soon negotiated in the city of Tashkent, but Pakistan was militarily defeated in 1971. And the war left it split into two. The following year, the Prime Ministers of India and Pakistan met at Shimla to discuss Kashmir. They agreed to obey the United Nations Charter and resolve the dispute peacefully, as well as respect the 1948 Kashmir ceasefire line. Renamed as the Line of Control, it separates the armies of India and Pakistan even today. Both countries refused to accept it as the international border, and both accused the other of violating the Shimla Accord. The constant shelling took a terrible toll in life and property.
गोले ना मारें आंखों भाई को पूरे मुंह में कुत्ते मुझे निकाल उसको एक